thing is, for me, being a woman in business in a estate agency, more than anything, is personable, emotions, creating rapport with people. For a man, it's a bit more of having a macho, having something to prove. For a woman, it's just, that's what we do. We're motherly creatures. You know, we want to mother people and look after people. But I think, like you say, the stereotype in this day and age is, oh my gosh, women can't be in charge, women can't be in business. Well, look, most of the successful people are. Look at Angela. She's in business, you know, she's running the company, and she's a woman. And I just think it comes down to being personable, having the right attitude and having your head screwed on right.
It's important for women to be in business because it brings a fresh set of new ideas, and it also gives a sense of women to have that sense of pride and power that they can do things instead of being as stereotypical stay-at-home mum, stuff like that. They actually learn a business, they own businesses, and they encourage younger women in order to do that as well.
In regards to apprenticeships, I do think that schools could introduce that more because, I mean, when I finished school, I originally wanted to do an apprenticeship before I started college, but I didn't know where to look or how to find one, and I think they are really effective, and I would recommend apprenticeship to a lot of people depending on what you want to do.
It wasn't just a business admin apprenticeship. I was involved in sales, I was involved in auditing, I was involved in kind of like the facilities management of the office.
My family is very different. Women have not really worked, so it's always been housewife and men work. I didn't want to do that. I've known since I was at school that I just didn't want to do that. I like being independent, so it was for me more of an independence thing. It sort of pushed me more, because that's when I got my first job, and that was just for money. And then my friend was really helpful, pushing me. Went to Murray, and now I have a career 3 years later, and I think, yeah, I'm proud of myself. I've now got not only a job, I've got a career. I feel like I've got a future. I've done really well for myself lately. I've been on a roll really. I've won an award, passed about 4 of my exams. So yeah, it's brilliant. I just think you can do anything you put your mind to do. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, whether you're male or female. If you want to do something that badly and you push yourself, then you can do it.
I think that's completely correct. I'm not a girly girl, you know. I've got my heels on and my dress on today because that's what I've got to wear, you know. And when I'm in business, I dress because I'm in business. So you look the part, you act the part. But completely, I was playing football. I was tumbling on the floor. I was wrestling. I was, you know, very boisterous. But that, you don't need to be like that to be successful. I think the 3 pointers I would give at a young age, I mean, for me, I'm 19 and I'm in the first few, you know, parts of my career, and I see myself doing this and progressing over the next 10 years. But for me, my 3 pointers would be, don't worry about what other people think. The other thing I'd say is who you surround yourself with, and I've learned this as an individual. I've not always had my head screwed on right. I wasn't focused, wasn't motivated, didn't want to do anything. And I think the last thing I'd say with regards to advice for young people is just do it. Give it a risk. As I say, I'm an estate agent now. I grew up in a council house and a council estate. I didn't even know what a mortgage was. I walked into a estate agency and I was like, what is a mortgage? I don't know. My mum and dad pay rent. And I worked with a lady called Samantha who taught me everything I know. And now it makes me just want to help more people. You know, you don't have to know everything to be able to do it. It's a case of just being open-minded, and I'd say coachable. Be coachable, be open to new ideas. My God, I was in the most uncomfortable position when I started, but because I wanted to learn, because I was coachable, because I wanted to get somewhere and not be like the other children I grew up around.
In order for something to become the norm, you've got to keep talking about it and get women more recognised within their fields. When she first started Middleton, it was just a recruitment agency, and she's actually built and grown that now to become a training provider, recognised training provider. She's a really good advocate in terms of women, in terms of their rights, as well as their fitness, you know, making sure that they are mentally and physically at their peak of where they should be or want to be.
It was really good when I was at Middleton. It was the training. It made my confidence so much better. I couldn't tell you how much better I was. It is difficult and it is hard work, but Middleton have great support, and I'd say push yourself, go for what you want to go for. Don't look at the money, it's not always about the money. You'd rather do something you're happy in. Obviously it is a good thing, you do need to think about your money, but you can create your own business from anything. Even if you go and work for someone else and the money's not great for the industry you're in, you can then go and make your own business in that industry, and then you'll be on a lot better money. So I'd just say do what you want, don't always look at the money.
My advice to young women entering the workplace would be to keep committed, stay composed and push the boundaries.
One of the most important things for me is to also try and be an advocate for women as well. I've got 2 nieces and I want them to grow up and become, whatever they want to do, but I want them to be a manager, a head of a department, own their own businesses. I want them to get as much out of life as they possibly can and get all the opportunities that they can get.
Again, I always recommend people to Middleton Murray for going forward with apprenticeships, even if it is just like it was for me, a door opener. For me, it's opened the door and said, this is a path, choose it or lose it. That's what I've done. I've